So today was the first time I tested the Hack Motion wrist sensor with one of my new students. He struggled with a very common issue in the pitching motion that I see pretty much every day from players, and that is too much flexion in the lead wrist in the backswing. If the wrist is in too much flexion, which a lot of players refer to as having it too bowed, the club face is going to be too shut and the leading edge is going to be too exposed. From this position, the player is going to tend to dig that leading edge into the turf, and they're not going to present enough loft on the club face, so the ball is going to come out lower and roll out more. They're also going to tend to start the ball left of their target line because of the simple fact that the club face is shut, so the ball is going to start left. To fix this common issue, we need to add more extension to the lead wrist so that we can open up the club face more and expose the bounce better. So instead of having the wrist in too much flexion where it's bowed, we need to add more extension where the logo on the glove is pointing more up towards the sky. So if we can add more extension to the lead wrist, we can open up the club face more, which will add loft to the club face and expose the back part of the club, the bounce, and the club then is going to go through the turf a lot easier. You're going to present more loft on the club face, and the club face is aligned more straight down the target line, so you're going to hit higher, softer shots that start more on line. So to help my player feel more extension in the lead wrist and the backswing, there's a great setting in the Hack Motion system, which is referred to as biofeedback, where you can have the system make a sound when you move the wrist the way you want to throughout the motion. So we wanted to add more extension in the lead wrist, so we then programmed the system to make a sound when the player had the lead wrist within 0 to 40 degrees of extension in the backswing. So the Hack Motion system is now programmed to make a sound if the lead wrist is in between 0 to 40 degrees of extension. If a player swings the club back with too much flexion, the program won't make a sound. But listen what happens when you add more extension. Can you hear that? If you add too much flexion, no sound. Move it into extension, sound. So the goal now is to make a backswing and make sure you can hear that sound throughout the whole motion. If you're able to do that, you have successfully added more flexion to your lead wrist. With the help from the biofeedback, my player was able to develop a feel of more extension in the lead wrist, to open up the club face more and expose the bounce better, and from this position hit the high soft shots around the greens without any trouble whatsoever in a very short period of time. It's sometimes difficult for a coach to teach a player a certain feel. It's always better if they can kind of figure that out by themselves, and with the help from the great feedback from the Hack Motion system, that's now possible. And if you could combine that feedback with appropriate knowledge of how the wrist should move to produce certain shots around the greens, you have a very, very good combination. If you want to learn more about the Hack Motion system and develop a better understanding of how the wrist should move throughout the motion to produce certain shots, then make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, because I'm going to post a lot more content about this. So stay tuned and let's improve together.